I feel like Serena's like my wife, just like get this crap out of here, a little bit. Like
Yeah.
so much.
It was just a blessing for her to get these out of the house.
Sounds
and
familiar.
the clutter.
I think a lot of collectors with a spouse that isn't a collector, I think that resonates.
Exactly.
Hi, I'm Ryan Hoge, president of PSA.
And I'm Chris Jackson, part of the founding team of Alt. And we're here today to look over the Serena Williams collection, an heirloom collection for Alexis Ohanian and Serena Williams. How many have been approved in the last year and a half since you've been here?
Like single digit. Like it's
Wow.
very small.
Wow, I'm honored then.
Yeah.
I didn't know how prevalent pedigree collections were because I've seen them before.
Yeah.
I've seen them around.
We don't have that many, honestly.
What exactly is a pedigree collection and what makes it special?
Yeah. So on the third line on the PSA flip, you can see the descriptor of what collection this is from. And so here you can see it's the Serena Collection. And so the idea is every single card that is in this collection has that descriptor. It's unique to this one. And it's done kind of at the same time, typically when these cards come in for grading and authentication. And it's a way to just further distinguish this card from any other, say, card of Serena that might have this autograph. I think the criteria that has been used to determine what is eligible or warrants the pedigree designation from PSA has varied over the years. But like at the core for me, I summarize it either as it is a noteworthy collector that is requesting it, or it's a noteworthy collection, really warrants this special designation. And oftentimes what we like to see is the collection stays intact. Not that it's just a way to add additional value, but a way to really distinguish it and have it stand out. And so, there's been very few that we've granted, at least during my tenure as PSA president. I believe I can count them all on one hand.
What are some other examples of pedigree collections that you've done in the past or since your tenure here?
Yeah. So there's a couple that we've done, in the last couple years. And so one was actually a little bit of a revamp of one that we did earlier, and we further extended it because there was another part of the collection that was discovered that we didn't add to. This was called the Lionel Carter Collection. He was a longtime collector in the earlier part of the 20th century, had a really extensive collection of baseball cards from pre-war all the way through 1960s. Tops, high grade, really awesome examples. And when he passed away, I believe it was in 2007 or 2008, his estate sold off the collection, and at the time, certain parts of it got designated with the Lionel Carter Collection, and then we recently went back and added it to a whole set, his 1952 top set that was a part of that. And that's an example of a historical set, a historical collection where he was one of the pioneers of baseball card collecting. And then a newer example is actually the Mike Trout Family Collection, which is similar here to Serena, except the volume is not nearly at the same scale. But Mike got really involved in sports card collecting, not just baseball, but he's collecting his Philadelphia Eagles cards.
Yep.
And what he wanted to be able to do was to jointly collect this with his son, who's really young right now, but ultimately pass the cards on to him and let him have an invested interest in building the collection together. And so we have the Mike Trout Family Collection that we started about 2 years ago, that every year there's new items being added to that collection for Mike. And we felt like, again, that fits the noteworthy collector who wants to keep this collection in the family and grow it over time.
As far as putting this pedigree collection together, I think what stood out for me was just how many hands had to touch this at PSA and how many teams had to work together. I mean, this included, the team that actually encases the cards. This included the DNA team to authenticate them. Could you speak to the process around it, what you can disclose,
Yeah,
and what teams went into making this all happen?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing super secret about the process. When we have cards come through, I talked about what's required to get the pedigree designation. But then obviously we have autograph cards here. So we have an autograph authentication team that verifies and signs off that, yes, this is a real autograph. We will choose to grade the autograph. So we have a grading team within the autograph group as well. We have our card grading team. Then when you look at the rest of the operations team that either prints the labels, to the sealing department, to the imaging department, lots of folks played a part in making these things come to life.
I do want to call out the PSA DNA team. They did a fantastic job. It took both Alexis, myself back that on this card specifically, they spent so much time making sure they could authenticate an Olympia Ohanian autograph, her first autograph.
This was a fun one. We hadn't seen an example. Luckily, you all provided the video evidence that we needed to feel comfortable that was her hand signing that. Really cool to show that off and encapsulate that custom card.
Yeah, I love hearing that the DNA team are like savants and just knowing exactly how people autograph cards and even just walking by and signing cards and how it's a different autograph. And for a 6-year-old's autograph to really be the one that gives them a fit because they've never seen an example is just it's a fun example of how seriously the team takes it.
Yeah, we're definitely a company of experts, and we take the job seriously.
How do you guys maintain that reputation and establishing trust with the hobby?
Yeah, I think you hit it. I think the key things for us is maintaining that reputation, having that trust and consistency in what we do and the services we provide. We focused a lot on scaling the business and scaling the team and the operation to handle the demand and volume we know that collectors have of our services, while maintaining those strict, consistent grading standards and accuracy that customers have known to trust and respect since 1991.
What comes next in the industry? With the emerging space, what trends are coming?
Yeah, we're always getting asked to kind of look in our crystal ball a little bit and see what's next. I think some of the things that I'm excited about. I'm excited for more women athletes to be collected and for there to be interest in these sports. We have a lot of collecting interest outside of the United States. I think the U.S. Is a relatively mature collecting market, but we have a ton of brand new people just getting into this hobby that are either in Europe or Asia or elsewhere outside of the U.S., and I think we can do more to reach those customers and inform them and turn them into passionate collectors. And then I still think we're in the early days of how technology can help improve the collecting experience to make it more fun, easier to use, and more trusted as people begin their collecting journeys.
How have women's sports changed in trading cards, especially in the last few years? What have you seen grow and evolve in the industry?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's definitely momentum with women's sports cards getting more interest from collectors. It's always been a smaller niche segment that, say, collected tennis cards where Serena is the front and center star, or WNBA cards. But in the last couple of years, you've actually seen a lot more noteworthy athletes emerge on the scene that catches the eye and interest of collectors or just fans that then want to become collectors. And then in parallel with that, you've seen Topps start manufacturing NIL-based cards. So we're getting college cards. Amateur athletes are showing up now on these cards that were never there before. The one that jumps out to me is Caitlin Clark. We have seen thousands of Caitlin Clark cards be submitted the last 6 months, where if you go back, say, a year ago, it was maybe in the hundreds, low hundreds. So massive surge of interest. And even on the secondary market, you're seeing prices realized for some of these be very high. There was a Caitlin Clark Superfractor card that sold for over $75,000 recently. So that tells me at least two people really wanted that card.
This is her 2003 Net Pro dual jersey auto, and this is one of the few cards that in 2003 they actually had numbered. So you can see it's numbered out of 100 there. Yep. This was the card that started selling for over $200,000 and was on ESPN and Forbes and CBS talking about the most expensive women's card ever. Do sales like that increase the value of the whole market?
Yeah, absolutely. When there is a marquee sale that goes out to beyond, say, just the hobby media and gets out to an ESPN or Wall Street Journal or CBS, that's getting interest of other sports fans out there that are gonna, it's gonna pique their interest and say, hey, maybe I better take a look at this, or I wonder about XYZ athlete that I'm a huge fan of. I wonder if she has any cards, and then that starts them down the journey. I mean, these are so early. This is 2003. Like this was way, way, way ahead of its time as far as women athletes being on trading cards. How many cards are in this collection? Because I'm looking at a stack over here. I know it's a lot.
Yeah, this is just touching the surface. So overall, in the other conference room, there's 3,500 cards in this collection and ongoing, because you can leave some of the Pedigree collections open, like the Lionel situation, where if we keep adding to it and adding and sending in submissions, you can keep building on it for years to come. So it's going to continue growing. So we can check back in a decade and see what we're at.
All right.
Yeah.
We might be north of 10 or 20,000 cards.
Exactly. So these are just a few cards from the collection that I just think speak volumes to the importance and why we even got a designation of a pedigree.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these.
This is actually Alexis's favorite card, and it's the 2018 employee exclusives Serena Williams patch auto. Obviously, it's the 2003 LeBron James design, but he loves it because this is a photo of her in the 2017 Australian Open where she was pregnant with Olympia. So this is his favorite card by far. When this collection came in, it was a Pop 1 1010. I think it's now a Pop 11 1010. So the bad news is it's not a Pop 1 anymore. The good news is he owns all 11.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's great.
So we had that. And then these are obviously, we created these custom cards.
The custom cards inspired by the same design.
So the family can all have their own custom
I love that.
employee or exquisite. So you got the three of them right there.
What is this one that says Trophy Room?
So this is the only one that has a different pedigree label. Yeah. And if you look at like a lot of the interviews and stuff going through their house, they have a trophy room in their house. And the last like 5 years, Alexis has put this in the trophy room. And you can actually see in the videos, it's sitting there. This like little sports card among her Wimbledon trophies. So that one got a special label for that one. I actually wanted to ask you about this one specifically. So this is her glossy.
Okay.
And it's signed PSA 1010. This would be like the equivalent of the Jordan 86 Fleer.
Yeah.
So how does the value change when you get a vintage card or a card of the top rookie and then signing it? I know that's like a controversial thing, but then getting it PSA DNA'd.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. So there are a lot of collectors that are passionate about collecting autographed versions of the rookie cards, whether it's going back to historical autographs like a signed 51 Bowman Willie Mays or a Mickey Mantle, all the way up to, say, an 86 Fleer Michael Jordan or the 84 Star Michael Jordan. There is definitely a premium associated with it, where almost condition goes out the window, especially for the vintage ones. For the modern ones like this, the 2003, having a 1010, I don't even know what the pop is on this. This could be the only one.
We think it is the only one to ever exist.
So this is highly desirable to the rookie collector and the tennis fan and the Serena collector.
Love that. And this was just by chance, too, because most of them were already graded PSA 10. You don't want to crack a PSA 10 of a card that got up to $100,000 a few years ago. But we actually happened to pull one while we were curating this collection. Alexis opened one of these packs, the out of 2,000 packs, and only one glossy is included per pack, and there's a set of like 30 guys. So you don't know if you're going to get it, but you actually pulled one, so we were able to make this happen.
That's
Otherwise,
crazy.
It would be a Pop Zero forever.
Yeah, very cool. So cool.
And I think the last one that I wanted to show you, this is actually not a card. This was, again, great work from the DNA team. This actually came in unsigned.
Okay.
And you guys briefed me that the only way that this was going to be able to be encapsulated by having her sign it. So we actually just send it back and have Serena sign it and get it sent back again. But this is like just, again, cultural significance. Virgil Abloh, the shoe designer, entrepreneur that actually passed away a few years ago. This is the invitation to the event after he passed when they did a fashion show. And Serena actually walked in it with one of the outfits. So this is the signed and authenticated autograph.
Yeah, this is super cool. Yeah, this is a lot of people don't know, but within our PSA DNA division that does the autograph authentication, we have holders for all sorts of items. And so if it's signed, we can authenticate the auto, and it fits in our holder, we'll encapsulate it. This is super cool, and it helps make them really great display pieces. Yeah, this is a neat one.
I know. Don't you collect a little bit of like memorabilia and other stuff besides cards?
Yeah, I have a thing like I have a Jack Nicklaus personalized to Ryan best wishes signed program from a 1987 Kapalua golf tournament that my parents were at.
Oh,
got
so
to sign it, and it's about the holder is about this size. It would fit right in there. And I just have it, on my bookshelf at home. Cool display piece. Fun to tell the story around.
That's cool. And I didn't know if you bought a secondary market one that just said to Ryan, or it was actually inscribed to this Ryan.
This one I got. They got it signed for me when I was like 9 years old, and I've had it ever since.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that's cool. That was main cards I wanted to show in the collection.
Great stuff.
Amazing.
Okay. Good job.
Thank you. Heart's racing right now. Just a card guy. I'm not supposed to be here for the content.
I said, if this was a parking spot, I'm a winner.
You're a winner?
I could get a parking spot.